Hello students, today we learned the second part of the lesson, Nelson Mandela, a long walk to freedom. The first part we learned about the opening ceremony of the new democratic government in South Africa, followed by the pledge taken by Nelson Mandela as the president of the new republic. Now, let us continue with the second part. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. Well, they were all sitting inside the amphitheater. The amphitheater, it was roofless. The top is, there is no roof. So, at that time, they could see an attractive display of South African jets and helicopters and carriers flying in the sky. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy. See, it was simply not a show of the various carriers, but in a way, the military was showing their loyalty, truthfulness, and faithfulness to the newly elected government. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged me their loyalty. Only moments before, a few moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police Force, they all came to Nelson Mandela and they offered their loyalty to the new government. They saluted him and offered their loyalty. Chest bedecked means chest decorated with the ribbons and all those honors they were received during the rule of the whites. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before, they would not have saluted but arrested me. I was not unmindful, otherwise, I was aware of the fact that not so many years before, otherwise, a few years before, they would not have saluted but arrested me. When the whites were rolling, these police forces, they never saluted him, but they always arrested him only. Now they have come to salute him because a new government is formed. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. Lastly, a pattern in the shape of V, that is chevron, of Impala jets left a smoke trail, otherwise, of the black, red, green, blue and gold. All these jets produced a colored smokes, that is black, red, green, blue and gold. That shows the new South African flag. That was the last display. they have seen up the sky. Next paragraph. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of white singing Nikosi Sikulel e Africa and black singing Daistam, the old anthem of the Republic. Otherwise, the day started with the singing of two national anthems of the country. One was sung by the whites and the other was sung by the blacks. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the word by heart. He says that even though they have sung these two anthems, both blacks and whites, they have even forgotten the lyrics, the wordings of the anthem. Once they despise, otherwise, once they have already hated. Now he says that since his new government is come, they will start, soon will know the words by heart because he is going to use both these anthems in his government. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. On the day of the inauguration, opening ceremony, Nelson Mandela was filled with emotions about the thinking of the history of his country. The first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. The first decades of the 20th century, the first decade, that is, first 10 years of the 20th century. 20th century means 1900 to 2000. A few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War. The Anglo-Boer War means two wars were fought between the Britain and South Africa. The last war ended in 1902. After this war, and he says that he was Mandela was not born at that time. Because of the differences built among the people of South Africa and the whites, they formed this apartheid system, otherwise the racial domination amongst the dark-skinned peoples of their own land, means dark-skinned people of South Africa. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. This type of formation, otherwise this racial domination created among the dark-skinned people, it was the most harshest, otherwise unpleasant and most inhumane, anti-human societies the world has ever known. The world has never seen such a structure in the history. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognizes the rights and freedom of all peoples, regardless of the color of their skin. Now he says, the last decade of the 20th century, that means in 1990s, and my own 8th decade as a man. He also has completed 8th decade as a man, means 80 years. And that system had been overturned forever. He says, forever this system of apartheid has been turned over. Forever. And in that place, replaced by, in that place, a new government that recognized the rights and freedoms of people, regardless of the color of their skin. He says that now a new non-racial government had come into force, which recognize the rights and freedoms of all peoples, irrespective of their color of the skin. The day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of people whose sufferings and courage can never be counted or repaid. That day means this particular day of formation of the new government. How they reached this particular day? That had come through the unimaginable sacrifice of thousands of people. For getting this particular freedom, so many people had sacrificed their lives for the country, whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. We cannot count their sufferings, or we cannot be able to pay back them for the courage they have shown. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. I felt that means he felt that he was simply one among those persons who fought for the country. And those are all those African patriots, those who are loyal to the nation, they all went by, all passed away. But now I have taken the rule of this particular country. How I got this? Because of those people. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. All those people had gone by. They have sacrificed their lives for the country, and again a new government has started with me. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. He was in a way he felt very sad. Why? Because of their sacrifices, now they got the freedom. Why he is pained or sad? Because now those people were not here to see what their sacrifices had achieved. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. The apartheid way of treating those people, the blacks, that created a deep and very lasting wound. Otherwise, he was very much pained by the system. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. He says, all of us, the people of South Africa, the black people, for them it will take many times, many years to come out from this particular hurt, means profound hurt, deep feeling. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was it produced the Oliver Thambos, the Walter Sisulu, the Chief Luthulis, the Joseph Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobukwas of our time. Men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unimaginable effect. The oppression means the hardship and the cruelty had another unimaginable effect. What was it? That brutality and oppression that produced the great people like the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sisulu, the Chief Luthulis, the Joseph Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobukwas of our time. These were the prominent names in the struggle against apartheid. Men of such extraordinary courage, they were very courageous people. Wisdom, they were very wise, and at the same time, generosity, very kind. That their like means such people may never be known again. We may not be able to find such people again. But he says, perhaps it requires such depth of oppression to create such heights of character. If you want to create such characters, again, it may require such depth of exploitation. Then there is a chance of creating such characters, such people. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil. But I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. He talks about his country. He says that his country is very rich in minerals, which they get from beneath the soil, from under the soil. But he says, for him, the greatest wealth of South Africa is its people. They are much finer and truer than the purest diamonds or the minerals they get from the soil. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. It is from these comrades, these people, this great people of South Africa, those who have fought for the freedom of the country. Comrades means the friends. It is from these friends in the struggle for freedom that I learned, means Nelson Mandela learned the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. For an idea means the idea of freedom and equality, getting freedom for the country. Many times, he himself has seen men and women risk their life, put into danger. They are putting their own lives into danger for achieving the idea of freedom and equality. Now, I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength of resilience and defies the imagination. Even Mandela has seen men facing the attacks and torture, that is bodily pain, without breaking, showing a strength of resilience. Otherwise, even though they know that they have been beaten severely, even beyond limit, still they suffered. They suffered it, and that defies their imagination. Resilience is the ability to deal with any kind of hardship and recover from its effects. They know that they could not be able to recover from the tortures, but still they suffered it. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. See, those people, they suffered a lot. They were cruelly, very cruelly they were dealt with. But they always tried to suffer those hardships. Now he says, I learned the courage. Nelson Mandela says, he learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Over it means that if the triumph in the victory over fear, that is courage. It is not that fear is absent, but how we conquer, how we become victorious over that fear. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. A brave man, we cannot say that a brave man is not at all afraid. He is afraid, but once he conquers that fear, then we can say that he is a brave person. Last paragraph. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background. He says that when a child is born, he doesn't born hating a person because of color of the skin or the background or the religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Again, he says that people have to learn to hate. They should learn how to hate others. But if they can learn to hate others, they should be taught to love also. They should be taught how to love others. Why? Because love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Opposite means hate. Love comes more naturally to the human heart than hatred. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the gods, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Even in the grimmest, darkest times in prisons, when they were in prison and they were tortured by the people, the police people and all. See, when my comrades, his friends, and he himself were pushed to our limits. Pushed to limits means beyond the limit. Last point in our ability to bear pain. That means they were given limitless pain, torture. I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the gods. That time he says that when they were punished very severely, he had noticed some sort of humanity in one of the gods over there. That also for a second. He says, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. That gave him that particular glimmer, otherwise a faint light of humanity in one of the gods, reassured Mandela to keep going. Otherwise, he got an assurance that one day or other they will get freedom. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Man's goodness means man's kindness. It is something like a flame, a blaze of fire that can be hidden. It is hidden inside, but it cannot be extinguished. We cannot blow it off. इसको हम बुझा नहीं सकते. Now look at the comprehension, oral comprehension check. The first question is, what do military generals do? How has their attitude changed and why? The answer, Nelson Mandela remembers how the generals of the South African army and the high police officers were employed to arrest him and the other leaders of the blacks only some time ago. Now the same officers, bedecked with ribbons and medals, were saluting him and showing their loyalty towards him. The end of the apartheid regime brought all these changes in them. Second is, why were two national anthems sung? Answer, the Republic of South Africa consists of two constituents, the blacks and the whites. The newly elected democratic government wanted to show equality to the black and the white people. Playing their two national anthems symbolized their unity. The whites sung Nkosi Sikelel' A Africa and the blacks sung Die Stem, the old anthem. The third question, how does Mandela describe the systems of government in the country? 1. In first decade and second in the final decade of the 20th century. Answer, after the Anglo-Boer War, the white-skinned people formed apartheid regime against the dark-skinned people in South Africa. The system was the harshest and most inhumane one. However, in the final decade of the 20th century, the system of apartheid was replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedom of all people regardless of the color of their skin. Fourth one. What does courage mean to Mandela? Answer. Mandela learned the true meaning of courage from others who were a part of the freedom struggle against the policy of apartheid. When he saw the men and women risk their lives for the cause they believe in, he learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the victory over fear. A brave man is not he who is never afraid, but he who conquers fear. Last question, number 5. What does he think in natural what does he think is natural to love or to hate? Mandela thinks that no one is born hating another person because of his race, color, skin, or religion. People must learn to hate, and if they learn to hate, they can be taught to love. Mandela thinks that love comes more naturally to the human heart than hate. Thank you. Students, you have to go through the second part of this lesson, and if you have any doubts regarding anything, any part of the lesson, you may contact me and clarify your doubts. Thank you.